Allah knows you are tired, and sometimes that simple truth is enough to soften the weight you carry. There are days when you wake up and your heart already feels heavy. You move, but your soul feels still. You smile, but your thoughts are somewhere far away. And in those quiet moments, when no one sees the struggle, you wonder if anyone truly understands what you are holding inside. My dear sister, my dear brother, pause for a moment. Breathe, because the one who created your heart knows exactly what is happening within it. We all walk through seasons where exhaustion is not only in the body, but in the spirit. The kind of tiredness that settles deep, where even words struggle to describe what you feel. You try to stay strong. You try to stay grateful. You try to show up for everyone who expects something from you. But somewhere inside, you whisper, "Oh, Allah, I am so tired." And maybe you haven't said it out loud. Maybe you don't even know how to explain it. But Allah already knows. There is a kind of fatigue that comes from carrying responsibilities that never seem to end. You look around and feel as though life keeps asking more and more of you. You give and you give and you give, and still there is more to do. You try to hold your home together, your relationships together, your work, your emotions, your habits, your intentions. And sometimes you wonder, am I doing enough? Am I failing? Am I disappointing Allah? My dear heart, let me remind you gently, the fact that you care so deeply about doing right already shows the sincerity in you. Sometimes the exhaustion comes from something else, from waiting, from hoping, from praying for something year after year and not seeing the result you imagined. It wears you down. It makes you question your worth, your direction, your purpose. But Allah, the most merciful, never forgets a single dua you made in the depth of pain. Not one. And your tiredness in the weights is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of being human. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you allowed yourself to rest with Allah instead of away from Him? Sometimes we run in every direction trying to solve our problems except toward the one who controls everything. We try to manage life on our own terms, forgetting that comfort was never meant to come from the world. Comfort comes from the one who created the world. Comfort comes from the moments when you tell Allah everything without hiding, without filtering, without pretending to be strong. You see, tiredness becomes heavier when we carry it alone. But the moment we surrender it to Allah, something shifts inside. You feel a quiet release, a small breath of relief, a sense that you are finally held by someone who understands you better than you understand yourself. Allah does not expect perfection from you. He does not expect you to always be strong. He does not ask you to smile when you are hurting. He simply asks you to turn to Him sincerely, honestly, fully. And when you turn to Him, you begin to see things differently. You begin to notice that sometimes Allah slows your life down because He wants to slow your heart down. Sometimes He withholds something because He wants to protect you. Sometimes He delays something because He wants to elevate you. Sometimes He lets you feel tired because He wants you to finally rest in His remembrance. And in that rest, new strength is born. Reflect with me for a moment. What if your tiredness is not a punishment, but a sign that Allah wants to pull you closer? What if it's His way of saying, "My servant, come back. You have carried enough. Let me carry it for you. Does that not soften your heart? Does that not remind you that you were never meant to walk through life alone? There is beauty in being tired for the right reasons. The tiredness that comes from striving to improve your character, from holding yourself back from anger, from trying to speak kindly even when you feel misunderstood, from trying to pray with presence even when your mind feels scattered, from trying to forgive even when your heart is hurting. These forms of exhaustion are signs that you are growing, that you are becoming more aware, more intentional, more spiritually alive. But there is another kind of tiredness we must pay attention to. The tiredness that comes from living without intention, from living on autopilot, from filling your days with distractions, noise, stress, and unrealistic expectations. This type of exhaustion drains because it lacks purpose. It pulls you away from your values, your faith, your inner peace. And when that happens, your heart begins to whisper that something needs to change. So ask yourself gently, what am I tired of? Am I tired of doing good? Or am I tired because I am doing too much of what does not matter? Am I exhausted from chasing this world? Or am I exhausted from trying to please everyone except the one who truly matters? Questions like these open the heart. They guide you to clarity. They remind you of your purpose. My dear listener, Allah knows you are tired, and not in a distant way, not in a general way. He knows the exact reason. He knows the exact moment it started. He knows the exact weight on your shoulders. And He knows what will heal you. But healing begins when you allow yourself to be honest with Him. When you stop pushing your emotions aside. When you stop pretending that you can handle everything alone. When you let your tears fall in sujood and say, "Yeah, Allah, I can't, but you can." There is a tenderness in that moment. A sincerity that Allah loves. Because when you admit your weakness, you are actually stepping into true strength. The strength that comes from relying on Allah. The strength that comes from humility. The strength that comes from knowing that even when you feel like you are breaking, Allah is holding every piece. Let me share something with you. For the people who seem the strongest on the outside are often the ones who break quietly on the inside. And Allah sees that. He sees the nights you stay awake overthinking. He sees the days you push through with a heavy chest. He sees the moments you want to give up, but you still move forward. He sees the patience you practice, even when no one acknowledges it. Every bit of it is written. Every bit of it is rewarded. But sometimes you need to give yourself permission to pause, to breathe, to realign, to step back and say, what is actually important right now? Because the world will always demand more from you. But Allah wants peace for you, inner peace. That calm that settles in the heart when your priorities are aligned with your purpose. This tiredness you feel, what if it is guiding you? What if it is redirecting you? What if it is calling you to slow down, reflect, and reconnect with what truly matters? Allah never burdens you beyond what you can bear. But we often burden ourselves beyond what we need to. And sometimes Allah allows us to feel that weight to remind us to return to balance. So take a moment, close your eyes if you can. Place your hand on your heart. Feel its rhythm. This heart was not created to run endlessly. It was created to find tranquility in remembrance. to find intention in your actions, to find clarity in your values, to find purpose in your journey. And when you start living with intention again, something beautiful happens. You stop trying to control everything. You stop chasing validation. You stop running after things that were never meant to fill you. You start choosing what aligns with your faith, your values, your inner peace. And slowly, gently, your tiredness transforms into strength, into clarity, into hope. And maybe, as you listen now, you feel a small shift inside. A reminder that you are seen, that you are heard, that your tiredness does not define your worth. Allah is closer to you than your own breath, and He knows the sincerity of your efforts even when no one else does. So take this moment as a gentle sign, a sign that you are allowed to rest, a sign that you are allowed to slow down, a sign that you are allowed to return to Allah without fear, without shame, without hesitation. Because He welcomes you always, and every step you take toward Him, even in your tiredness, is a step that elevates you, heals you, and fills your heart with renewed purpose and peace. And know that He never leaves you without hope. There comes a moment in every person's life when the heart begins to whisper that something inside needs healing. Not because you are weak, not because you failed, but because you have carried emotions for far too long without giving them the space to breathe. And Allah knows. He knows you are tired. He knows your heart has wounds that you never spoke about. He knows the silent battles no one else sees. And He knows that deep inside, you are longing not just for relief, but for healing. Healing begins with honesty, with acknowledging what is happening within you. Sometimes we convince ourselves that if we ignore our feelings, they will fade. But the heart does not work this way. The heart remembers. It holds sadness. It holds fear. It holds disappointment. It holds unspoken longing. And when it becomes too full, it sends you signals, fatigue, irritability, emotional numbness, spiritual heaviness, not to punish you, but to guide you, to remind you that something within needs attention. Allah, in His mercy, created your heart with this capacity to speak to you when you neglect it. And perhaps this tiredness you feel is not just physical exhaustion. Maybe it is the heart saying, I need gentleness. I need sincerity. I need time. I need Allah. So let me ask you softly, when was the last time you allowed your heart to feel without judging it? When was the last time you sat with your emotions and said, it's okay, I'm human. I am allowed to feel pain. I am allowed to feel tired. I am allowed to seek healing. Healing is not a sudden light that appears overnight. It is a journey, a slow, compassionate, patient journey, and Allah is with you in every step of it. He does not rush you. He does not tell you to move on quickly. He does not expect you to pretend. He invites you to come to Him exactly as you are, tired, wounded, overwhelmed, hopeful, lost, or quietly holding on. There is no wrong version of you when you turn to Allah. Every version of you is accepted by Him. Sometimes the heart gets tired because it has been holding on to pain that was never yours to carry alone. Hurt from people you trusted, words that cut deeply, promises that were broken, expectations that were never met, disappointments that formed quietly in the soul. You may not talk about these things, but Allah sees them. He knows when a heart has reached its limit, and he knows how to mend what was shattered. But healing requires something important, allowing your heart to be vulnerable with Allah. Many people are afraid of vulnerability because it feels like weakness. But in reality, vulnerability with Allah is strength. It is strength because it means you trust Him enough to show Him your sadness, your fears, your confusion. You are saying, "Wa Allah, I cannot heal this alone. I need you." And Allah loves when His servant turns to Him with sincerity. Let me remind you gently, the heart heals when it returns to its Creator. You can try many things: distractions, business, hiding your pain under responsibilities. But nothing will soothe the heart like remembrance. When you pick up the Quran and feel that first moment of calm settle inside you, when you place your forehead on the ground in sujud and let your tears speak, when you whisper a dua in the quiet of the night, when you say, "Why, Allah," from a place deep inside your chest, those moments are not small, they are healing. Healing also comes through forgiveness, not for others, but for your own heart. Often we are harsh with ourselves. We expect perfection. We punish ourselves for mistakes made years ago. We replay memories that hurt us. And each time we do that, the heart becomes more tired, more burdened. But Allah does not want this for you. He wants you to forgive yourself, to understand that being human means falling, learning, growing. Your imperfections are not a sign that you are unworthy. They are a sign that you are alive. Ask yourself, what am I still holding on to that keeps hurting me? Is it guilt? Is it fear? Is it a memory? Is it someone's betrayal? Is it the pressure to be strong all the time? Healing requires letting go, not suddenly, not all at once, but gently, with compassion. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means choosing peace over pain. It means choosing Allah's plan over your expectations. It means choosing to move forward, even if the steps are small. And remember, healing the heart is not only emotional, it is spiritual. A tired heart is often a heart that has drifted from its center, from its purpose, from its alignment with Allah. And that distance creates pain. But the moment you turn back, even with the smallest intention, Allah opens doors you never imagined. He places light where there was darkness. He places ease where there was heaviness. He places hope where there was despair. Sometimes healing means changing your environment. Sometimes it means adjusting your habits. Sometimes it means distancing yourself from what drains your soul. Sometimes it means setting boundaries with people who take more than they give. Healing asks you to choose what nourishes your heart, not what exhausts it. Ask yourself, who brings me closer to Allah? Who brings me closer to peace? What practices give me inner calm? What habits drain my energy? These questions guide you toward intentional living. Another gentle reminder, your heart will not heal if you ignore your emotional needs. Many people keep giving, serving, supporting others while silently neglecting themselves. But you cannot pour from an empty heart. Even the Prophet took time to reflect, to be alone, to worship quietly, to reconnect with purpose. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to take time to heal. This is not selfishness. This is wisdom. Healing also grows through gratitude, not the loud gratitude that people display publicly, but the quiet gratitude that settles in the heart when you notice Allah's mercy in the smallest things. The breath you take, the ability to rise each morning, a moment of calm after days of heaviness, a dua that gave you hope. These are signs that Allah is caring for you. Gratitude softens the heart. It shifts your focus from pain to possibility, from exhaustion to hope, from fear to trust. Let me share a tender truth with you. The heart you have is precious. Allah chose it for you. He designed it with the ability to break, not as a punishment, but as a path to humility and closeness. A broken heart often leads to deeper connection with Allah than a comfortable life ever could. Because in moments of heartbreak, you finally stop relying on the world and you turn to the one who never disappoints. So if your heart is hurting, if it is tired, if it is searching, remember this: Allah is near. Near in ways you cannot see. Near in ways you can feel. Near in the calm that washes over you after dua. Near in the courage that appears when you thought you had none left. Near in the patience He places in you. Near in the comfort that suddenly fills your chest at a moment you did not expect. Your healing will come not because you forced it, but because Allah sees your sincerity. He sees your effort. He sees your longing for peace. And He will not leave you without healing. It may take time. It may unfold slowly. But every day you turn to Him, you are healing. Every time you choose patience over frustration, you are healing. Every time you choose trust over fear, you are healing. Every time you choose to lift yourself after falling, you are healing. Soon, there will come a day, maybe quietly, maybe suddenly, when you will feel lighter, when the pain that once consumed you becomes only a memory, when the tiredness begins to lift, when clarity comes, when hope returns. That is the moment when you will understand that Allah was healing you all along, even in the moments you thought nothing was changing. My dear heart, healing is not a destination. It is an ongoing journey, a sacred journey. And Allah, the most gentle, is guiding you every step of the way. Trust His timing. Trust His wisdom. Trust His love for you. And most importantly, trust that your heart, no matter how tired it feels today, has the capacity to heal, to grow, and to shine again.